Well, I have audio but no radio signal, so need to do some troubleshooting. Okay, um, I got audio but no signal, and one of my friends suggested that maybe the connections on the speaker were wrong. Okay, well, the radio didn't work. I was getting audio but no signal through. You can see here that I've highlighted everything that's been checked. I was able to check all the antenna connections. They all appeared good. And the IF cans checked out okay. You can see this section turned out okay. But I couldn't get into the oscillator section, which is where the problem was. I got voltage on the heaters of all the tubes, but I was not getting any voltage on the oscillator plate. I believe it's the oscillator plate of the 6A8 tube. So in order to get into there, what I had to do was completely remove the center tuning section, and you can see it here. I labeled all the wires I had to disconnect in order to get that unit out, and I have access now to the oscillator section. I found a wire broken off of, I believe it was pin 6 of the tube socket. It went to the switch in the oscillator section. So I've got a wire ready to replace that, but while I'm in here, I'm checking the oscillator coils. So that'll be continued tomorrow night. But at this point, the little picofarad capacitor and those two resistors there do check out, so I'm going to leave them in, and we'll see what the readings on the coils say when I get around to checking them, hopefully tomorrow night. Okay, it's October 20th, and I had to take the chassis apart a third time because I heard snap, crackle, and pop when I went to power it up. Still don't have the dial back on yet, but that'll only take a minute. I discovered a broken wire to the band switch from the 6A8 tube, so I repaired that and put it back together. That's when I got the snap, crackle, pop on powering it up. So I took it apart again and had a little trouble deciphering the band switch. So I called my friend Bob, who's the area expert, and took the chassis over there, and he helped me decode the connections on the pins here to the 6A8. Once I had these two connections down on the pin 5 and 6, then I was able to trace the wiring and determine which switch connections were supposed to be connected where. And I finally got that straightened out last night and got everything reconnected and put back together. So tonight it's power it up and see if it works, but first I need to stick an antenna wire on there, and I will probably go ahead and put the dial back on. And after a little bit of alignment,
in a single year,
she's up and running.
Mercury Theater, Orson Welles has come to be the most famous name of our time in American drama. Says Collier's magazine.
Here it is, giving a preview of what we're going to be listening to at my radio party. The Mercury Theater's production of Dracula, starring Orson Welles.
Wells should feel at home in the sky, for the sky is the only limit which his ambitions recognize. And finally, the United Press remarked, meteoric rise of Orson Welles' Mercury Theater continues unabated. With 4 hit shows in its first year, the Mercury might well close its door on a season.
Or Calvin Klein. I guess that was usually announced afterwards. If only I had a poo to give.
To tell you about it.
Pictures, so at least there's maybe some semblance of sharpness and that type of thing. So it'll be an interesting decision. Not only is he healthy enough, do they want to put him in that spot after not having pitched in the game for a long time?
Between Shaw, Allen, and of course Andrew Miller, who can blame them? English narratives is Bram Stoker's Dracula. The next time I speak to you, I'm Dr. Arthur Seward. George Courouris plays Jonathan Harker, and Martin Gable plays Dr. Van Helsing. It's Dr. Seward who tells the story, and so for the moment, goodbye, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you in Transylvania. Theater on the Air presents Orson Welles as Count Dracula in his own version of Bram Stoker's great novel, Dracula.